Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to draft, cut and sew a cowl neckline blouse with sleeves. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following measurements: bust circumference 39 inches, waist circumference 35 inches, hip circumference 43 inches, shoulder waistline 18 inches, sleeve length 6 inches, blouse length 26 inches, around arm measurement 14 inches, shoulder to shoulder measurement 16 inches. I have here this pattern paper that I've already laid out on the table, and I've drawn margins of 2 inches at the top and on the left hand side of the pattern paper. I will now go ahead and draw a rectangular box that will contain both the front and the back patterns, since both of them will be drafted within this rectangular box. To know the width of the rectangular box, I will look for the largest value between the bust, the waist and the hip circumference measurements. And in this case, the largest value is the hip circumference measurement, which is 43 inches. I will now calculate the hip circumference divided by 2 plus 2 inches for ease, and this is 43 divided by 2 plus 2, and this is equal to 23.5 inches. I will measure and mark 23.5 inches like this. I will draw a vertical line downwards. The length of the rectangular box will be the blouse length, which is 26 inches. So I will measure and mark 26 inches like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. I will now divide the rectangular box into 2 equal halves vertically. This side will be the center back, while this other side will be the center front. For the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 1 inch like this, or a horizontal line across. This is the back shoulder line. For the front shoulder line, I will measure and mark 1.5 inches like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the front shoulder line. For the armhole depth, I will use the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is 39 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 8 inches. So from the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this. The full length of the armhole from the upper starting line is 9 inches. So I will measure and mark 9 inches from the upper starting line on the center back and the center front lines like this. Then I will draw a horizontal line to the center back and the center front. This line is the armhole line. The shoulder to waistline measurement is 18 inches. So from the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 18 inches like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the waistline. For the back neckline, I will use a value of 3 inches by 1 inch. Using a French curve, I will draw the back neckline curve like this. For the front neckline, I will use a value of 3 inches by 3 inches. Using my French curve, I will go ahead and draw the front neckline curve like this. Next, I will divide the shoulder to shoulder measurement by 2, and this is 16 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 8 inches. On the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches starting from the center back. Also, on the front shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches starting from the center front. I will connect these 2 points together like this to give me the slanted shoulder line for the front. I will also connect these 2 points together to give me the slanted shoulder line for the back. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark 8 inches from the center back and the center front. This 8 inches is the shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. I will connect these points together with broken lines like this. Next, I will calculate my bust circumference plus 1 inch for ease divided by 4, and this is 39 plus 1 by 4, and this is equal to 10 inches. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark 10 inches like this, starting from the center back and the center front. On the back pattern, I will locate and mark the middle point on the broken line. From the middle point, I will go in by half an inch. I will connect these 2 points together like this with my ruler. I will connect these 2 lower points together with my French curve like this. We now have the armhole curve for the back. On the front pattern, on the broken line, I will go up by 3 inches. From the 3-inch point, I will go in by 3/4 of an inch. I will now connect these 2 points together with a ruler like this. I will also connect these 2 lower points with a French curve like this. This is the waistline. I will calculate my waist circumference plus 1 inch for ease divided by 4, and this is 35 inches plus 1 inch divided by 4, and this is equal to 9 inches. On the waistline, I will measure and mark 9 inches starting from the center back and the center front. Next, I will calculate my hip circumference plus 1 inch for ease divided by 4, and this is 43 plus 1 inch divided by 4, and this is equal to 11 inches. So at the hem of the pattern, which is also the hip line, I will measure and mark 11 inches starting from the center back and the center front. I will now connect these points together like this to give me the side seams of the back and the front patterns. At the side seams, I will go up by 1 inch from the hem of the pattern. At the center back and center front, I will come down by 1 inch at the ends. I will now connect the points together using my ruler and my curve like this. So now I am done with the drafting of the front and the back basic bodice pattern. I will now go ahead and cut out the patterns. Next, I will draft a basic short sleeve pattern. On this pattern paper that I've already folded into 2, I will draw a starting line about 2 inches from the edge of the paper. The sleeve length that I'm working with is 6 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 6 inches like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. Next, I will calculate the cap height line using the formula bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1.5 inches. and this is 39 divided by 12 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 4.75 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 4.75 inches like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This line is the cap height line. Next, I will calculate the armhole depth using the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is 39 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 8 inches. On the cap height line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this. I'll connect these 2 points together with a slanted line like this. Next, I will divide the slanted line into 4 equal sections like this. From the first middle point, I will go up by half an inch, and from the second middle point, I will come down by half an inch. Using the half an inch points as a guide, I will draw the curve of the sleeve head using my French curve. The around sleeve measurement is 14 inches, so I will divide 14 inches by 2, and this is equal to 7 inches. So at the hem of the sleeve, I will measure and mark 7 inches like this. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this. Next, I will draw the sleeve head curve for the front of the sleeve pattern. From the middle point, I will come down by half an inch. Using the half an inch as a guide, I will go ahead and draw the front sleeve head curve like this. I will now trace out the new front curve to the other side of the pattern paper like this using a tracing wheel. I will also trace the hem and the side seam to the other side of the pattern paper. I will open up the paper and I will make the tracing bolder using my ruler, marker pen and French curve. I will cut out the sleeve pattern. These are the front and the back basic bodice patterns. I will go ahead and alter the front pattern into a cowl neckline pattern. For the back pattern, all I will do is just to alter the neckline. I will increase the back neck width by 1 inch and the back neck depth by 1 inch also. Using my ruler and my French curve, I will draw a new neckline curve for the back pattern. I will trim off the excess paper. This is the front pattern. I will increase the neck width by 1 inch and the neck depth by 2 inches. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this. Later, I will trim off this part that I'm shading. I will divide the remaining part of the shoulders into 3 equal sections. From the base of the new neck depth, I will measure and mark 3 inches 2 times. I will now connect these points together like this using my ruler to give me the slash lines for the cowl. I will trim off this excess paper at the neckline like this. I have here this new pattern paper that I've already laid out on the table. I have drawn a margin of 2 inches at this side and 4 inches at this upper part. The 4 inches margin is for the neckline facing, and the 2 lines are at right angles to each other. I will now slash the 2 slash lines like this, but I will not cut them all the way through. I will make sure that this edge on the pattern touches the upper horizontal line and this pointed end touches the vertical line. I will pin it in place. I will also make sure that the center front at the hem also touches the vertical line. I will pin it in place. I will pin this piece, this middle piece, in place as well. I opened up the slash lines by 4 inches each. That is, the space in between the slash line is 4 inches. I will redraw the shoulder line. Before cutting it out, I will fold this upper line, this upper part along the horizontal margin like this, so as to create the neckline facing. Do not worry about this part that extends beyond the vertical margin. I will trim it off and it will not affect the outfit in any way. I will now cut out the pattern. For the neckline facing, I will use a length of 3 inches at the center front and 2 inches at the side. I will now connect the 2 points together like this using a ruler and a curve. I will trim off the excess paper. This is the neckline facing. I will remove the old pattern from the new one. This is the center front. It will be cut on bias on the fabric. These are the 3 pattern pieces that I will use to make the cowl neck top. This is the fabric that I will use for the blouse, and I've spread it out on the table as you can see. I will now fold the fabric on bias like this in a triangular form. I will cut the front and the back pieces on bias, and they will also both be cut on fold. If you do not have enough fabric, you can cut the back pattern on the straight grain. I have pinned my patterns on the fabric along the folded edge. For the front, I used half an inch seam allowance all through, except for the side seam where I used 1 inch side seam allowance. I will now cut out the front pattern on the fabric like this. For the back, I used half an inch seam allowance all through, except for the side seam where I used 1 inch side seam allowance. It will be cut on fold, so the pattern was pinned along the folded edge of the fabric. I will now cut out the back piece like this. I will also cut the sleeve of bias. I have drawn the bias green line on the fabric at an angle of 45 degrees. I will cut 2 sleeve pieces, so here we have 2 layers of fabric. I did not fold the fabric on bias this time around because the sleeve pattern is the whole sleeve pattern on and not the half sleeve pattern. I will pin the sleeve pattern on the fabric like this, making sure that the middle line on the sleeve aligns with the bias green line on the fabric. I will use a seam allowance of half an inch at the top and at the hem of the sleeve and 1 inch seam allowance at the side. I will cut out the sleeve. These are the 3 pieces needed to make the cowl neck top. I cut all the 3 pieces on bias. This is the front piece. I will remove the pattern from the fabric like this. I have already notched where the facing starts from on the fabric. I will go ahead and overlock the hem of the neckline facing. So now that has been done, as you can see, this is the back piece. I will remove the pattern piece from the fabric like this. I will use this bias tape to finish the back neckline. So now that has been done, as you can see, I will place the front piece on top of the back piece like this, right side to right side. I will align the front and the back shoulders like this. I will flip over the facing. Recall that I have already notched where the facing starts from. I will now pin the shoulders in place like this. I will do the same thing on this other side as well. After pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see, and I have overlocked the raw edges of the seam allowance. With the right sides together, I will go ahead and sew the side seams using 1 inch sewing allowance. I will also hem the lower part of the blouse. So now that has been done, as you can see, I've sewn the side seams together and I've also hemmed the lower part of the blouse. This is the sleeve. I will go ahead and hem the lower part of the sleeve. After hemming, I will pull the right sides together and I will go ahead and sew the side seams using 1 inch sewing allowance. So now that has been done, as you can see, I have hemmed the lower part of the sleeve and I've also sewn the side seams together. I will now go ahead and fix these sleeves to the armholes of the blouse using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now that has been done, as you can see, and this is the final look of the cowl neck top with sleeves. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye and thank you so much for watching.